Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the podcast. Today, on this episode, we have a fart lawsuit. We got some Avengers talk, some Game of Thrones talk, talking about how great of a month April is for entertainment, because just everyone's excited about something. Then we got a little bit of Poacher talk, we got a little banter, we got a little funnies, got all the good stuff here. Thank you for tuning in, and yeah, hit it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
boys and girls, welcome back to the Frying Pan Podcast, your favorite pop culture podcast. I am your host, Daniel Funtime Sear, and I'm here with my lovely co-host.
Robert Roadside Safety Week D'Onofrio. How's it going, folks?
How you doing over there, handsome?
I'm doing all right. It's another one of those kind of rainy Tuesdays, but as you already know, I'm always good. Never bad.
Never ever.
Never, ever, ever.
It's a
Had
good,
debate in school yesterday. Crushed that. Liddy.
nice. What was
Um,
what was that debate on?
I had to debate for the death penalty.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
We won't get into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not worth talking about just because it's one of those things where it's like, it's how you feel, man.
It's pretty heavy for us. Not something we want to just lob in like a softball for the first pitch of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right. But other than that, had a great weekend myself. I know you were there. That's one of the reasons why it was so great, my friend.
Oh yes, good old. We had a nice little Game of Thrones rewatch in anticipation for next Sunday. We're all down and jiggy with it. Can't
Yes,
wait.
yeah. I'm
Um,
clapping like a seal right now because I just love the show.
yeah, I feel like we've talked about Game of Thrones like at least once every single week within the past year, but I feel like it's
It
fine.
is just because you know what's happening for next episode. We're talking about the premiere. Obviously, spoil free, just so you guys know.
Oh no, though I'm spoiling the whole thing. I'm actually spoiling the
Oh,
whole show because I know a guy who knows a guy.
all right, all right. Here's how the show's gonna end. Ready, guys? I'm gonna let you in a secret. The show ends. Everything turns to ice. It melts, and then it's the intro to Skyrim.
Dun 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 Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin, dun 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 dun.
I actually saw like a pretty convincing post, like I know what's gonna happen in the show, and it was like a well thought out conspiracy. And it just kept kind of getting weirder and weirder. Like they kept jumping farther and farther, and it ended with, and Todd Howard comes in and says, "Welcome to welcome to Skyrim, the show."
Oh, that would be
I was,
disgusting.
and I just like I went to throw my phone down a flight of stairs because it was such a long post that I was like, "Wow, this is a really good theory." And I'm like, "All right, okay." And I just had to keep reading to know how it ended, and just because it ended like that,
Yeah, you get,
was a little mad.
yeah, but that's Reddit for you.
But yeah, we had a Game of Thrones rewatch, which was great. Us and our friend Jordan, who's also been a guest on our show, we went over to his house. We had a overnight marathon of seasons 4, 5, and kind of 6. When
We
you're watching a single show hour after hour after hour, you don't know what happens. It's all a blur, but
yeah
it's a great blur nonetheless.
we did jump around a little bit because not every episode's great. I'll be honest, and that's
No, no, no.
okay.
Every episode's great. It's just there's certain plots that aren't that great.
Yeah,
Come on now.
I think
Like the
no.
religion plot for
Um,
for instance.
Religion plot bad. Not real fan of crippled Bran being towed
Hey,
across
Dan.
the tundra.
I was just like cripples need a spot in Game of Thrones too, but that doesn't make us
I'm like, well, no, I guess not. Well, actually, no, that not in this scenario.
Yeah, you're right.
The only,
But yeah,
the only,
we had a good time.
yeah, the only thing keeping him alive is that he's like essentially like a cosmic being at this point.
Jeez. All right,
Fuck
but
it.
besides that, that was pretty much it for my weekend. How about you? Did you do anything besides that? I know it was kind of nice Saturday and Friday, so you get outside at all?
Yeah, I got outside Saturday or Friday afternoon, Saturday morning. I enjoyed the outside for that day, but I also enjoyed just shutting myself in and doing nothing for a whole day and a half.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
It's very nice ever so often. But yeah, same old, same old. Can't complain. I don't know, just a lot this month. April's a good month for me. My mom's birthday's in a
Uh,
couple days, so shout out my mom.
Ooh,
Actually,
happy birthday, Dance Mom.
yeah,
I love you.
it'll be her birthday when this episode comes out. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Um, Other than that, I don't know. I I just can't complain, man. Life's been good.
Jeez.
But I also I say that, but then every single night before, we'll be talking on Discord or something, and I'll be like, "All right, catch you later, guys," and then immediately I'll take a shower, come back to my computer, and then I'll again just look up pricings to live in different states. And I'm like, where should I move? Where should I just start my new life? But I think that's just the soon to be existential crisis inside me. But we'll figure it out when we get there.
Hey, man, if you do plan to move somewhere else, just make sure we're in the same time zone.
Sure thing, buddy boy. Um,
Mostly, because it'd be inconvenient to talk to you if you were like 4 hours behind or ahead, right?
no, I don't think it's that bad.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, if you're getting on at like 8 at night, that's like our midnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I'm moving to Germany, where 7 at night for
Well,
you is 5 in the morning for me, then it's kind of not that good. But if I'm
you want to
moving
move to Germany, Dan?
there's probably something out there for me, but I don't know.
Guten Tag, sprachen die Deutsch.
Yep, that's the one. I was thinking that the exact phrase. Glad we're on the same page, Bobby.
Uh, yeah, I don't speak German.
I didn't think so. um,
I think I meant to say no sprachen die Deutsch or nein sprachen die. I don't know.
what does it mean?
I don't
What
know.
does it mean, Bobby?
What I was trying to say is no speak German.
No speak German. Je
I've
ne
never
parle
taken
pas anglais.
Is Anglais German?
No, anglais is English.
Oh, I see.
Enough of that. I'd say,
J'ai tellement crayon.
yep,
I know.
yep. Keep them coming, Bobby. Keep them coming.
What's some of the other phrases? I don't know any Italian. Don't know any Asian language phrases. Oh wait, no.
Itadakimasu.
Yeah, eat the tacky mass.
Ohio.
Yeah, I can fill in every weeb thing that you think I would know. I probably know it in some form or another.
I just know thank you for the meal, hello, goodbye, and good morning. But
Actually,
the only thing I remember that from is we had a Japanese student in my second or third grade class, so we tried to learn Japanese to make him feel more at home.
aw,
So
that's actually kind of nice.
yeah, so every morning when they'd walk in, because they'd come in late, we'd always say "Ohayou gozaimasu," and they'd be like "Arigato," and they sit down. But I imagine it probably got tiring after the 100th day in a row that we said it. That's okay.
You know those awkward situations you hear about with language barriers. I actually witnessed one in my college experience.
Mm-hmm.
We had a Spanish-speaking woman who is, I imagine, coming back from school to school because she was a little older, and one of my professors tried to be kind of not funny. He definitely wasn't poking fun, but "Hola, cómo estás?" And she plunged completely into the rapid Spanish talking, because she thought he spoke Spanish.
Oh.
And as she kept going, you saw the look on his face of
Oh, I'm fucking lost. He opened up a can of worms that he just couldn't close.
yeah, it was really funny. She was a good sport about it. He was a good sport about it. But I felt kind of bad at first because she looked so happy because there was I don't want to say a genuine language barrier, but you could tell that English wasn't her first language.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny nonetheless. Did you see that lawmakers today or yesterday the vote passed to have legalizing recreational marijuana in TT?
Oh, did it? I didn't see that.
Well, it's it's the second process. So it passed the first, it passed the second. Now there's the third. If it gets past the third,
We're home free.
we're on track to have it legalized by June-ish if we're using the same plan.
June next year or June this year?
This year.
Wait, that's way too fast. I'm not ready.
Well, the idea behind it is like they'll issue out like temporary licenses for like dispensaries to start selling right away, so they can get in that tax revenue, and they're hoping to use that tax revenue to then like finalize the plans and stuff.
Yeah, well, we need it. But
yeah, so
is it
past the second stage, which is really good.
Yeah, you gotta be 21 for that, right?
Yeah, 21 to purchase, same with alcohol. But funny enough, medical marijuana is 18 in our state.
Well,
But that's just because it's obviously to be used as medicine.
Let's jump into some topics. I want to
Let's
start
jump into
off
some
with
topics.
my favorite one that I've seen in recent days is man loses lawsuit claiming boss bullied him by farting. Now,
I'm sorry, what?
Man loses lawsuit claiming boss bullied him by farting. It's clear as day,
All
buddy.
right. Now, explain this to me.
Okay.
How is this justified?
So, in Australia, this is from the New York Post. The article says an Australian appeals court on Friday dismissed a bullying case brought by an engineer who accused his former supervisor of repeatedly breaking wind toward him. I guess what had happened was this man had it was a construction. I don't know if it was a construction business, but the man has like a windowless office. And I guess his coworker would casually come in and just fart behind him. And he would do it like 5 or 6 times throughout the day. And that would be it.
Huh.
So he is seeking 1.8 million Australian dollars or 1.3 million dollars in damages.
Because he got flatulated on.
Yeah, because he got crop dusted.
Yeah.
But I guess it happened a lot, and it wasn't just one person that did it.
Oh.
I guess a lot of people would just kind of like crop dust. It's construction. I imagine it's like you can fart freely kind of area. Everyone's okay with it, but I guess this man just wasn't okay with it.
Well, I imagine after like the 6th time of having to say, "Hey, stop crapping your pants right next to me," is said, like you get kind of fed up with it. So I do understand like how you'd be like, "Fuck it, you're donezo," but like 1.8 million's a little much.
You don't think he deserves it?
Well,
come on.
He got farted on. He got farted on, man.
This is a borderline epidemic at this point. Have you ever been farted on, Bobby?
Fortunately, no.
Well, from experience, it's a pretty demoralizing experience. And I side with the man. I think he should be asking for more. I think 1.3 is selling it very short for the emotional distress that this man must be going through right now.
Okay, I do agree. Like it is like some form of issue. It definitely is, because it could be seen as bullying, especially if the guy was like, "Hey, please don't do that," and whatnot. But at the same time, man, I don't think I ever would want to be $1.8 million richer just because I won a lawsuit over someone passing gas near me.
That's bullshit, because I don't think you would ever complain if you were $1.8 million richer.
Yeah, okay. But he lost the lawsuit, so that's just like out in the open that this guy lost a lawsuit.
Well, yeah, okay.
He tried to file by someone farting on him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, all right, if this man wins the lawsuit, he's a hero. He's standing up for every man or woman that's been farted on before.
I really wish I had the judge's dialogue in front of me, because, well, first thinking like this guy had to go to a lawyer and was like, "Can this be a case?" And that lawyer said yes.
Wait,
this guy lost the lawsuit.
Hold on. He was arguing that flatulence constituted assaults. That's a phrase. That's a great phrase right there, but what the fuck?
I mean, in some lights, I guess it could. Like, if it's just repeated after, like, if it's disrupting your work environment, I guess I can get behind that claim. But still, it just sounds so outworldish.
Well, that was the thing is he viewed it as he was getting farted on until he couldn't take it anymore and that he would quit. I guess he only worked there for like 11 months. He worked from May 2008 until April 2009. And he argued that his job was terminated because of it. So, take with that with what you will. Australia is an interesting place. It's either you're getting farted on or the 12-foot tall tarantula is trying to take your house. It's
Well, from my understanding, everyone in Australia has to wear special shoes so they don't fall off the bottom of the earth.
that could be true actually. Now that I'm really thinking about it.
Yeah, like, isn't that why the British brought convicts to Australia, right? So, like, if they were acting up, they could throw a boomerang at their special shoes and they just fall off the earth or something like that, right?
It's well, I think Australia was originally just a big jail island, like
Yeah,
originally.
it was. I read something recently that, like, the first 12 policemen there were just the most well-behaved convicts on the island.
Well, that's reassuring, I guess.
Yeah. I also read somewhere that I think it was either New Zealand or Australia. One of them lost a war to emus.
Yep, that was the great Emu War, where they lost because I guess like emus were becoming overpopulated, so they had to go to war with them, and they didn't win.
Yeah, I honestly I've never looked into it further just because I want to preserve it in my head that Australians genuinely lost in a war to emus.
Well, see, the way I like to view it is if like emus had like war strategies, like they had
Like a
helmets.
Planet of the Apes thing, like, right?
Yeah,
Like a Planet
yeah.
of the Apes type of thing.
Like
Like that's what I'm picturing as well, and I want it to be true so
yeah,
bad.
like emus are shooting guns back, and they're like doing bombings. But I don't think emus can fly. But I was gonna say like emus fly over. But no, I think emus are just like buff ostriches. Ostriches?
Ostrichi? I don't actually know.
Ostrich.
Ostrich. They're buff ostrich.
Yep. But yeah, he would fart behind me and walk
Ostr-
away. He would do this 5 or 6 times a day.
I'm gonna be honest.
I want that on my
Like
tombstone.
it's if it's a comedy thing and I'm in on it too, I wouldn't give a shit. But for the fifth time in a row, and I was like, "Don't do this again." On the sixth, that person's getting right hooked. I'm not gonna lie.
I think, like in this scenario, you just kind of have to like you joke with it instead of like being upset about it. You got to be like, "Oh, that was a good one, dude," and then eventually he's gonna be like, "All right, this it's not working on him," and then he's gonna stop farting on you, right?
Well, okay, so this guy's in a windowless office, and it happens several times a day.
Hmm.
So it's one thing, like if he's just got to sit there and do his work with the potential stench and whatnot. Like I fully understand this guy's point of view. I would get very mad as well.
Oh yeah,
Maybe that was the mistake. Maybe he was joking about it at first, and like he kind of acted like it was okay, so it just became a thing.
oh that could have been it. Yeah, you're right.
You know, maybe he even started it.
I mean, like I'm saying, he's definitely getting bullied in the workplace by farts, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Accurate. Well, the courts stated that it wasn't his favor, so
Yeah, yeah, he didn't. He was only there like almost a year, so shout out to this man. Way to put up with the farts for as long as you did.
jeez.
But
It's so weird coming home to your wife. And the boss keeps farting at
it
me.
just like breaks down. She's like, "Oh, honey, come here. What was it today?" You, you,
Oh wait, no, he's Australian, right? So
you farted.
oh, he farted at. Wait, why? What? That's like Jersey, right?
I'm not gonna do it because I won't do a good job.
How
It's like British.
I'm trying to think of how Hugh Jackman talks.
Um, I'm Wolverine. It's me, Hugh Jackman. He's like
You know
that.
what? Just make my Australian impression just one long beep sound.
Yeah, or I'll just cut it out entirely. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine and dandy.
Hey, no problem.
Comment down below if you have a spot on Australian accent.
Let me know. Um,
Teach me.
another story. This is a little update on a kind of repetitive topic, I guess, at this point. But
Mhm.
the whole college scandal. Last time I reported that all 50 decided to plead not guilty. Well, the ringleader Felicity Huffman and 12 others not doing
Wait,
too
did you
hot
just read?
anymore.
Did you read Felicity? Felicity?
I said Felicity.
Because I'm looking at her name, and I genuinely read it in my head as Feely City.
Feli City.
Yeah.
Feli City Huffman. Uh,
I actually think that's the first time I've ever seen that name written. Like, I've heard Felicity a whole bunch. I don't think I've ever seen it written for some reason.
yeah, I don't think it's a common name, but it's definitely one of those names where you see it and you're like, oh, okay, there it is. But
All right, yeah, sorry, not to cut you off there. So you were saying, like,
oh, you're
people
good.
came out and
Oh,
pleaded
well,
guilty now?
well, it was like among the 50 people, they were all like, no, we're not guilty. And then her and 12
Hmm.
others that were kind of at the head of it were like, well, yeah, we're guilty. Um, Apparently, Huffman was accused of paying $15,000 to have her older daughter's SAT scores boosted. Um, that's not worth $15,000.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. It Okay, hold on. I don't want to sound absolutely dumb here, right? But I feel like $15,000 is like an accurate amount that you would have to pay someone to boost their scores, because that's like a pretty like tight withheld thing, right? Because like even when you want your SAT scores, you have to send away for them. They won't email them to you. You have to get a mail copy. Like, it's an organization that's full of a bunch of pricks that don't ever want to help you. I'm saying this because to get into MCC, I need to get my SAT scores to get exempt from their entrance exam.
Hmm.
And it was like a 3-week process of just trying to get the damn scores that could have been emailed to me.
Yeah, well, think of it this way. You're not paying $15,000, so they don't give a fuck about you.
I mean, yeah,
if
15 grand to boost
if
your SAT scores.
if you don't got the money, they don't want to hear it. End of
You know,
story.
I wonder how bad her scores were initially.
Apparently $15,000 worth of
Well,
shit.
what's the max on our current SATs? I think it's like 1600, right?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong
Yeah,
guy.
okay, I believe it's 1600 with our new ones. And just as a basis, I'm just gonna go out and say like I scored. I think on my first like pre one, I got like a almost like 1100. It was a 1090, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm dumb. And then after retaking it twice, the score I clocked out was like about 1200, which I
Hmm.
believe is the average.
Yep.
That's only 400 points off of perfect. So I wonder if she paid 15 grand for like how many points she paid to have her daughter like rise above average, you know?
I mean, like, if I'm guessing, I'd say that she's at like a 900 and this brought her to like a 15. But then again, I don't know how much money weighs in boosting SAT scores, I
I guess
guess.
that's true. I'm more or less just curious if they're like, yeah, give her a perfect score. No one will realize that she's, not anywhere near that level.
Yeah, no one in the world would bat an eye when a famous person's daughter scores perfect on an SAT. Nobody would find that weird at all.
I had a teacher in high school that liked to mention how her son got a perfect score on the SAT.
Oh, good. Good
A
for him.
decent bit. Standardized testing sucks.
Standardized
I
testing is
would pay my way.
Standardized testing is bullshit. It doesn't measure anything.
I mean, hey, if I could have paid a grand just not to take them, but still gotten a score that was manageable, I would have done it.
Yeah.
But not 15,000.
Maybe 500. Maybe $15 in a Kit Kat bar.
I would say the max I'd pay to have like just decent scores is a grand, probably.
Yeah. I mean,
But that's just because like I remember going through them in high school. Like I went from not really giving a shit to realizing that these scores could decide my future in like a snap. So I was just instantly stressed.
yeah, I think you and everyone.
Well, of course, I'm sure a lot of people would rather not take them in at all.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even think I took SATs.
I was just about to ask because I know you were pretty, set with your future plan leaving high school. So did you?
No, I was not set with my future plan leaving high
Okay,
school.
I
I was
just wanted to say, did you plan to go to college out of high school?
No, I had no desire to go to college outside of high
Ex-
school.
Exactly. So I was did you take your SATs?
I don't think so. I don't remember if I did or not. I definitely don't remember a score, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I think I
I
was
know we
just
had ones.
I was such an idiot in high school. Like I was such like a closed-minded idiot that it's
Still am.
yeah,
Zinger.
it's alarming how I managed to live this long.
Oh, I would say what you think you lack in school smarts, you make up for in general wisdom.
You know me, I sit cross-legged under the cherry blossom tree and talk to Buddha. It's like it's no
Yeah.
biggie, and like everyone does it, but I just do it more, I guess.
I just pictured you were like the Avatar from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and you're just talking to your past selves, and one of your past selves happens to be Buddha.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying there's an arrow going down my
Ugh.
head, but I'm also not saying that I don't.
I know. All I'm saying, have you seen Dan and Buddha in the same room? Or I haven't.
let's move on. I don't want to get too much into it, but
All right. In that case, we're talking about something I want to talk about. Because guess what? Gordon Ramsay had a kid. Did you know that? I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah, she's been pregnant for a little bit itty bitty while.
I didn't know she's been pregnant. I feel like I've
Yeah,
seen her. I feel like I've seen his wife in like recent interviews, and she wasn't pregnant whatsoever.
I don't think it was recent. No, she's been pregnant for the standard.
Well, you could say that she's had one in the oven for a while.
Woo! I wish they named their kid Wellington.
Oh wait,
Get
could you
it? Get
imagine?
it?
So then they had a boy. Gordon Ramsay had a boy, and it is named Oscar. Oscar.
Yep. That
So I
actually.
just want to say congratulations to him. I thought it was cool because every picture I've seen so far that he's posted and she's posted, they just look so happy. It's nice seeing Gordon Ramsay like dumb happy, man.
Yeah, well, it's like if you ever see Gordon Ramsay in like MasterChef's Kids or any of like the kids shows, he's such a cool dude. He's so nice and wholesome.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
And he'll be like, "What's wrong, darling?" And she'd be like, "Oh, it's too salty." And he's like, "All right, hold on, let me take that. We'll help it out. We'll help it out."
Yeah, he's like, oh, well, you might just want to add this and that, and it'd be perfect. And then he like I don't know, like play punches him, and then it's just like,
Oh, it warms my cold heart.
and I'm like, oh, Gordon doesn't just scream. What would you do if like one day he lost it on one of the kids though?
I would, actually, I kind of always wondered, like, if obviously they wouldn't put that in the show, because I imagine the kid's having like PTSD flashbacks about it now,
Yeah.
if he did. But like, do you think he could have?
No, I definitely don't think he. I don't think he did, or I don't think he would. But I'm trying to picture. Well, because have you've watched those shows, right?
Yeah, more than I'm willing to admit.
Do you ever see how stressed the kids get if they're like if their pastry doesn't rise or something?
Well, I mean, that's understandable. Kids have an imbalance in their emotions. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm saying, how did you feel at the age of 8? Were you ever that stressed?
Um, no, but
It's
then again, I was never on TV. I was never in a cooking competition. You know what I mean? Like I was never in
yeah,
like like the closest I got to like a competitive sport setting was just karate when I was like 8 years old. And doing that when you're 8 is essentially just like you don't even know what you're doing there, man.
yeah, you're hanging in.
Yeah, I gotta. It's bad, but one of the few times I've actually won first place in something in my life. Most of them have been in karate from when I was 8.
Hey, we take those. A victory is a victory.
Hey, you
Never
know what?
downplayed.
Yeah, never downplay. 8-year-old me could have kicked your ass, Dan.
Probably.
Then again, kids are like superhuman.
Yeah, that's true. You throw a kid against a brick wall and he'll just bounce back.
Honestly,
But good for Gordon Ramsay.
yeah.
Was
Go to his Twitter. Go to his Twitter. Look at the pictures. It will warm your heart just seeing how happy he is. That's all I want to say. It's a nice ray of positivity for your day.
and I'm seeing here on our list below it that you have a pretty controversial topic that's just recently come to light for me.
All right, let me give some background. So on Reddit, there's a subreddit where you post unpopular opinions, and usually what it is someone saying like, so and so is X, and I don't really like it, and people all upvote the post saying, oh, I don't like it either. Yeah, so it's basically like a way of validating an opinion you think other people don't have, but in reality, because, Reddit's a very, I don't want to say a niche site, but you kind of know the demographic of it.
That's a
So
niche.
people post, unpopular opinions that are catered to that demographic, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to get upvotes. Then this post came along, and it got so upvoted because it was genuinely the most unpopular opinion I think I've ever come across for everybody. You know what it was, Dan? I know you've read it already.
Yeah, but hit me with it.
This guy tried to proclaim that water was better for cereal than milk.
Yeah, I'm seeing that, and the only thing that comes to mind is either he is a serial killer or he's not well in any way, shape, or form. And there's no way that I can be persuaded otherwise.
Okay, so here's some more background. The guy went in to say, like, so milk dilutes flavor, water doesn't make it as much. Water, like you would think that water makes it more soggy, it doesn't. It just preserves the taste of cereal. Was his whole like base argument. He had no like milk allergies, no reason to try this in the first place, and he made the case, and it was so wildly upvoted just because like it was so unpopular. I don't think I found a single comment scrolling through that thread that was like, "Yeah, you're right, man. Water is better than milk and cereal." Like no one agreed with this guy at all, and now it's become a meme. So thoughts? Would you even try it?
No, doesn't matter what it is. Okay, my first thing is, how does milk like dilute the taste in any way, shape, or form?
So
I would imagine
I
milk
guess,
milk adds flavor.
well, I guess it's kind of like how you look at it, right? Because like people could see the milk changing the flavor of the cereal as diluting the flavor of the cereal. Because if I don't know if you've ever had like dry cinnamon toast crunch, but it actually does taste a decent bit different than if you put milk in it.
Yeah, and that's fine. But like, there's a lot of like chocolate cereals that you're supposed to have in milk because then it'll turn the milk chocolate. I'm
Well,
not
see, that's the
drinking
thing.
chocolate fucking water.
He didn't say what cereals like this is specifically good in. So people were saying like, what cereal would you even try this with? Because I'm thinking like, all right, let's start with the neutral cereals. Like, just the thought of Cheerios and water made me gag insta.
Yeah, that's just wet Cheerios. And I guess you can make the same claim for milk, but milk's adding stuff. Water's not adding anything. Water doesn't taste like anything. It tastes wet, and that's it.
And then what temperature of water would you use? Because I know milk is cold, but would you use cold water?
I feel like you'd have to. Could you imagine like lukewarm water?
I
Ugh.
mean, it's just gross all the way around. So then I thought like the only cereal I think I would actually try it with is like that really like overdone Captain Crunch that has like the berry bits and the peanut butter bits.
See, not nothing.
See, I would try it with that because I feel like that's like the only case where maybe it'd be good. But any other cereal, why would you use water? Why? Why?
My thing is like unpopular opinion here, but normally when I have cereal, I don't have milk. I have milk on the side. I don't put milk in the cereal, cereal in the milk. I don't do that often. Depends on what it is.
Well, a lot of people do that just because people tend to over put milk in cereal,
'Cause
which obviously is high in fat content, and.
Like it's a fucking normal thing. But me putting water in okay, first off, putting water in a bowl, you do that for dogs. Pop that.
Yeah,
this is
that's
a
true.
thing.
That's true.
All right, like I'm just breaking it down bit by bit, but putting water in a bowl, first off, kind of weird. Second
Kinda
off,
weird.
I'm putting my cereal in there, and I'm trying to think like, oh, what cereals do I like? And I'm like, oh,
Wait, okay. In this scenario, I feel like you'd be putting the cereal in the bowl, then the water. Because who the fuck you don't put milk in the
okay,
bowl
well
before you put the cereal, do you?
this dude's a fucking serial killer, so there's really no telling what he's gonna do.
That's 100% true.
I'm really surprised no one's tried to track his IP and found like dead bodies in his garden. But
Jesus
like
Christ.
there's nothing that can justify this being anything other than he's ill. in
No,
many
you were
different
100%
ways.
right. Like I've gone and poured myself a bowl of cereal, opened the fridge to find out there's no milk. There's never been like a possibility in my mind of, oh, I really want cereal. I guess I'll use water. Like that's never crossed my mind
Yeah.
at all.
Like
Like
it's
just dump it back in the
yeah,
box, have some tomorrow. Like
it,
that's literally it.
it's honestly bothering me at this point. Like I'm getting slightly annoyed by it because just thinking about it, it just seems so stupid.
You know, we have ourselves a brave friend. His name is Ben. He's also been on the podcast. You may remember him. He is willing to try this. And you know what? For the sake, I'll try and get us an update for next week's episode. But I'm gonna see if I can get him to try some various different cereals with it.
Oh yes, I'm
He'll
pretty.
give me an honest review, like a Noah's food review. You know?
Yeah, I could definitely convince. We'll have him on next week to have him elaborate on it if he does it. I'm definitely gonna try and force him to do it though.
Oh yeah.
And
Honestly, the only cereal I want to hear the opinion is like those like ones that you need milk for, like cinnamon toast crunch,
yeah, I
like the chocolatey ones.
let me tell you though, if he comes back next week and he's like, guys, listen, water and cereal better than milk. I'll
All right,
be
he's
like,
kicked.
yeah, I'll be
He's
like, you
kicked.
can fuck right off back to East Bumfuck, Missouri. I don't give a shit what you have to say anymore. I'm not doing
Oh
this.
my god. Jesus. Okay, hands down, the grossest cereal that is in that would be with water has got to be like Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles definitely. You know what Crave is?
Yes, I do.
Could you imagine? Like they have the double chocolate Craves. Could you imagine that where you get a spoonful, you bite into it, and there's like the kind of liquidy chocolate in the middle, and that just gets diluted into the water, and now you're drinking chocolate water?
Uh, See, like chocolate and milk mixed together. Does chocolate and water even mix
No,
together?
they don't. That's why like when you have like dark chocolate, if you try to drink it with water, it leaves just a not so good taste in your mouth.
Hmm.
All right, we need to move on. I can't do it
We can
anymore.
honestly dedicate like a whole like science experiment to this.
Yeah, I wanna make a video where I sit this guy down and I'll try them and
Yeah, we gotta
probably
find the original
yeah,
poster. It
like
just
I don't know. Probably by the end of the episode I'll like chain him in a basement and just leave him there because that man shouldn't be in public. I want to keep talking about it, but I got to stop myself. Um, Also in the news, this was kind of cool. Kevin Feige, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Feige.
um.
Kevin
Let's go
Feige.
with that.
Um,
You honestly, you're better with names than I am.
I try. He says Marvel Studio has a 5-year plan after Endgame, and he's saying that the X-Men will not be making an appearance.
Yeah. So his reasoning behind that was just because this plan was obviously in the works before they acquired the rights to Fox Studios.
Hmm.
So what they're in right now, I believe, is Phase 4, and Phase 5 is pertinent to the plan that they're talking about.
Yeah,
So they already like are worked out to that point.
yeah. It's actually
But
like, oh, sorry, you go.
oh, I was just gonna say what's kind of cool that did come from this little article interview thing is they did say that um in this 5-year plan, some things that are likely to take place is a Black Widow movie and the Eternals movie, which are cool because they're very like female centric cast movies, which would be cool.
Yeah, I would be huge on a Black Widow movie, more or less just because Scarlett Johansson, but also it'd be interesting.
Oh wait, yeah, that's a good point. I hope Scarlett Johansson stays on for it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about her like contracts with it, but I know a couple big boys are out.
But yeah, so this guy Kevin, how'd you say you pronounce his name?
Feige?
Kevin Feige, maybe?
I think Feige.
Sure. Let's. You say that, I'll say Feige.
Okay.
So what's really cool that I find about them acquiring all these rights is they have the rights now to a lot of the villains from the X-Men and Fantastic Four series, like Doctor Doom and Galactus, and they're pointed out in the article,
Yeah.
which could make for some pretty interesting movies.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I don't know. My whole thing with this is I just find it so impressive how like looking towards the future they are as a franchise and like how long they've been going for this and like how much of it is planned out. It's amazing. It's
I
just amazing that they've been able to carry it out for so long without really any hiccups.
Yeah, it says in the article, how many films was it? I believe it was 11 years and 22 movies. I did find it interesting because he was reluctant to talk about upcoming movies in these 5 years. I wonder what is really in store because it's gonna be weird not having that like two Marvel movie a year trend going. So I wonder like what titles they're gonna use after Endgame.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it already, but I'm not too sure like what direction they plan on taking it. But I might
Yeah.
be okay with just tuning out if Endgame is a good, like a really good movie. Like,
Well, I know Spider-Man: Far From Home is like already guaranteed for after Endgame. Like that's coming out in
yeah,
what the
I
summer.
think it's in July, maybe.
Yeah, so we'll definitely get to see Spider-Man, but I don't really know what's in store for everyone else.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of people are getting their own, like a lot of the side main characters are getting their own spin-offs and such. But
I'd
I
be so around for another Black Panther movie.
be down for another Black Panther. I'm game for Black Widow. I'm trying to
I want a
think.
different Doctor Strange movie. I said I just want to see Doctor Strange do cool shit because now he's like in full wizard mode
Uh,
from what we saw in Infinity War.
yeah, he was in sicko mode. He's kind of doing it now. I
The only like oh sorry you go.
I was just gonna say I do not want to see another Ant-Man movie.
I really liked Ant-Man and the Wasp personally.
I wasn't a fan, but you're entitled to that opinion.
I mean, it rated one of the hires for the origin story movies, but
Yeah, I don't like Ant-Man as a hero. I think that's my issue. I like Paul Rudd, but I don't I just
that's
don't like
understandable.
I don't like Ant-Man.
On that same note of like movies that I don't want to see, I'm pretty good on Captain America and Thor. I think at this point,
I don't think we will. Well, because I think Captain America's up.
I don't know. I guess really we're just in like that period of we don't know what's coming next, so I guess we'll just have to sit down and find out, or wait and find out.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
Can I talk about something real quick that's actually ticking me off?
Yes.
So I imagine I'm getting these texts from like a telemarketer number. The number is 775-96. And I have gotten spammed with two text messages every minute for the last 10 minutes.
Oh,
Hide alerts. Block.
what does it say?
Okay, you ready? This is Survey Merchandiser with project opportunity near you. It involves auditing local grocery stores. The project should take 45 minutes and pays 25 per store. We have multiple locations available. If you can complete this project by tomorrow, please reply : work. And they've sent that same message to me 2 times every minute for the last 10 minutes.
Hit him with a colon fuck off, and then maybe
I'm
they'll
just
get
gonna
it.
type hey,
Stop.
or I'm just gonna type die. There we go, die.
That's all right.
Yeah, because I personally fucking hate telemarketers, but then again, I probably can imagine there's no one out there that likes them. So
No, especially the ones that are doing it for a job. Eh.
see, I like the telemarketers that like they'll call and you get like a normal person right away, because then you could be like, you can kind of fuck with them a little bit. And I know that's kind of fucked, but like, come on, you're calling me, man. Like I get the pass here, you know.
Mm.
Do you ever fuck with telemarketers ever?
Hell no. I just ignore them entirely.
Oh yeah, well that's just because you ignore phone calls.
Yeah.
See,
Unless I recognize the number or I'm waiting on something, I will not answer the phone. If I don't know recognize the number.
see, the part of me that like always thinks it's something important is active constantly whenever I get a phone call. Like I can know it's a telemarketer for a fact, but just the likelihood that it could be important makes me pick up.
Hmm. That's true. That's fair.
That's
Um,
fair. That is fair.
Another, hold on, really quick. I
Oh,
want to talk
hold on.
about this Game of Thrones album that's coming out.
So, can you explain this to me? Because I've actually heard nothing about it. More or less, just because I try to avoid most of the publicity around Game of Thrones, just because I don't want spoilers or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of artists are coming together. A lot of like pop and rap artists are coming together to make a Game of Thrones album for the season.
Oh,
And it's very
oh,
odd. Yeah, it's very odd because, like, I guess it's kind of thing for. Well, Black Panther, the artist made sense, but for this one, it's just kind of weird. Because when you think Game of Thrones music, you think of, like, orchestra, classic, all that
yeah.
jazz.
Two Steps from Hell, Hans Zimmerman. You
Yeah.
know,
But,
what are some of the names on there?
I'll run through. I'll run through them. We got ASAP Rocky, Ellie Goulding.
Wait.
Nope, stop. It gets better. ASAP Rocky, Ellie Goulding, James Arthur, Joey Badass, Lil Peep, Mumford and Sons, Rosalia, SZA, The Lumineers, The Weeknd, Travis Scott, Ty Dolla $ign, X Ambassadors, and a few others. But those are the notable names.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a goddamn minute. What are they going to bring to the table?
Well,
I mean, I was fine with Ed Sheeran popping in just to be like, hey, what up? But
yeah. I mean, I don't think they're definitely not working on like the soundtrack for the show, and that was what a lot of people thought initially, and they were really
Yeah.
really concerned because they were thinking like the biggest fight is gonna be like the biggest fight is like Jon Snow's gonna come in, slice someone, then you hear like Travis Scott, it's lit, and then fucking the bass kicks in, and everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay, could you imagine if Sycamore started playing in the final battle?
I mean, they had like Daenerys is riding the dragon and just breathing fire over everything. The bass comes in. They're doing like a Marvel fucking orchestrated combat.
So anyways, what they're doing is they're creating an album just pertinent to the show. Like, how does that work?
I guess so. I think it'll be the same way of like Black Panther, where they just kind of made an album for the show,
Okay.
but it's its own album, like original songs.
So, from the article, it says 9 cover variants representing each house crest, 1 color variant with fire and ice colored vinyl, and 1 standard. So there's going to be a lot of different like covers for the vinyls, but what's the content? Like, what could these people talk about pertinent to the show? Is like ASAP Rocky just going to be rapping about the Imp? Is Little Peep going to be talking about Daenerys? Is Mumford and Sons going to be hitting the banjo to
that's
King's Landing?
That's the one thing I'm curious of, is because Little Peep, rest in peace, is dead. So I wonder if this has been in the works before he died, or if they're just taking like songs that these people have made and just saying it's an album.
You know, I guess this is another case of we're gonna have to wait and see. But what the hell could it be?
Yeah, I'm interested.
If it's original songs pertinent to the show, I will actually buy the album. But if it's just like their original songs, just in a Game of Thrones album, then not so much.
Yeah, I won't care that much. But you should be interested. Yeah, the Travis Scott is the name that caught my attention the most, obviously, because I just kept thinking like Travis Scott ad-libs during a fight scene, and it just killed me. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of pertaining to that. Here's our sports talk of the week. Big brawl went down. You know, it's baseball.
Okay.
The stick and bat game. There was a benches clearing brawl between the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and one picture got captured. That's the player's name is Yasiel Puig. He's a big dude, and it literally just looks like him taking on the entire Pittsburgh team. If you follow us on Instagram, I'll post it there. And
oh my gosh, I'm looking at that now. It genuinely looks like he's just 1v12ing. What?
Yeah, it looks like he's ready to pop off, and it reminded me of that the picture of the Battle of the Bastards, where it's like everyone's riding it on horses and Jon Snow's just standing there.
That's actually true. That's funny as hell.
Yeah. Or like a scene from Gladiator.
You know, I guess I could just be a pansy and all, but if I saw 12 baseball players, more than 12 probably, just running at me, I would not be the lone man just holding the door. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to think, when your adrenaline's pumping like that and you're like probably 80 pounds heavier than everyone that's coming at you, you don't really got much to worry about. And you got some boys coming in from behind. But the funny thing...
What's that guy doing holding his feet?
The one dude on the ground?
Yeah, he's holding his own teammate back by the foot.
That's what I was looking at. I was like, what are you doing down there, bud? I think he just tripped, I'd imagine.
Well, he's like cradling his foot though.
Yeah, but let me tell you, it looks like Puig is ready to pop off, and everyone else is like, yeah, he's got it. I'll back you up like motivationally, like, no, you got it.
They're all just the hype man in the back. Like everyone on the Pirates is like, let's fucking get this guy.
And Puig is like, I need a hand. Everyone's like, yeah, we got you.
You got it. You got it.
You got
You
it,
got
buddy.
it.
Jesus.
Jeez, baseball would be so much more interesting if there's like regular fights like in hockey.
Yeah, I agree. I wish it was like that, but sometimes, well, I guess there's actually not that much fighting in hockey anymore, or not as like ruthless of fighting as there was, from what I've seen.
Really?
Yeah, I dabble from here and there. I'll watch a game and I'll see like highlights, but I never see like, because people were black eye, broken jaw, shit like that. Now it's like scratch on the cheek.
Well, I kind of understand that because I guess like football's under fire for like the concussion stuff, and I'm sure hockey doesn't want to get that gaze turned on them as well. So.
I mean, that's different, I think.
Well, I imagine it's just like in the whole like tidying up the game type of deal.
Yeah, I guess, but that's also it's what makes hockey especially unique, aside from the fact that it's on ice. But
That's true. That's definitely true.
I don't know, all perspective, I guess. Anywho,
Jeez, what did the brawl start over?
I think it was just like a pitch, too close or hit by a pitch, something of that nature. That's how it always starts. But I don't know why anyone would want to fuck with him. So
guys, in my it's almost like a common trend that I talk about some form of environmental conservation or vaccines or some shit like that. But we're back at it again with so two things actually pertinent to rhinos in specific. So a rhino poacher was trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions.
and normally I'm like, no, but
Yeah. So this is from an article on newsbreakinglive.com. A poacher who broke into a national park in South Africa has died after being trampled to death by elephants and his body eaten by lions. The incident, which involved 4 other men who are now in police custody, occurred in South Africa's Kruger National Park. So, fuck this guy, I guess, is the moral of the story.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, kind of with people stealing Komodo dragons. But if you're a poacher in any sort of way, just die.
Yeah, he was hunting down an endangered rhino as well.
Yeah, just die. Not a fan.
Yeah, it's kind of funny actually. They were looking for him, until they figured out he was eaten by lions because they recovered some of his clothes, and then they just found his dismembered head.
Oh God.
Can you imagine how traumatic that's gotta be?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of that. I mean,
so yeah, poacher dead. It's unfortunate because it's the loss of human life, but he was definitely doing something that was most definitely wrong, and this is just kind of like an animal kingdom justice type of deal.
yeah, I mean, I'm not one for wishing death on anyone or like eye for an eye kind of deal, but poachers have a special place in my heart of I really don't care what happens to you.
He got what was coming to him, I think is a fair way to look at it.
Yeah, and I think in the most like ironic way possible too.
Yeah. And you know what's cool? When I was looking into this story, I came across something about rhino conservation that's pretty cool. I think I might have touched on it a while back in the show, but people have been injecting rhino horns with some kind of poisonous pink dye. Now, the poison isn't for the rhino, so it's to deter poachers, because when you dye the horn, it obviously loses value because it can no longer be used for like aesthetic purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But the poison comes in because, like, it's a common thing that, like, rhino horns are used in, like, some recipes. Some think it's an aphrodisiac. People do weird shit. And it's just supposed to induce, like, really terrible stomach aches.
Oh, that's really interesting. Is it, like, just, like, a nature reserve group that does this?
Yeah. It's in efforts to stop poaching. It's to, like, devalue it. They've started doing it to rhino horns and also elephant tusks.
Oh, cool. I imagine the animals don't feel anything from it.
No. The horn it's completely for their safety. When I was reading into that, I couldn't find out much about how it was actually done.
Hmm.
I imagine they're trying to keep that kind of maybe under wraps. I don't know how that would play into it, but it basically devalues the horns and tusks near completely, which is great.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah. But I just found that kind of interesting though, that like the world had its way of getting this, I would say, karma almost for this guy.
A bit of a comeuppance, some may
Yeah.
say,
I wish we could figure out though if he kind of died after being trampled.
or if the lion
Cause
got
he,
him.
yeah, because granted, like no matter who you are, getting eaten by lions has got to be a terrible way to go.
Yeah, I mean, for his sake, I hope he just kind of died from the trampling and not actually getting dragged away and eaten alive. Because that's a little not good, no matter what the case is.
Yeah, the picture that this article uses, it's the lion looks so scuffed.
Yeah, it does. He looks kind of old.
That guy's been through some battles.
Yeah. Well, it's probably not the first. I was gonna say it's probably not the first person he's eaten, but I
Mm.
can't just assume things like that for lions.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's definitely true.
Hey, Bobby.
But hmm?
Are we done
What's-
on? Are we done on the poachers?
No, I was gonna say something
Oh yeah,
just
go.
like
Sorry.
different.
No, go.
Well, I was gonna say like for I was gonna say a lot. I just realized that.
Mm-hmm.
So with the whole dying tusks thing and everything, I wonder how much poaching will drop from it because I don't actually know like how much of poaching is just for like the horns or the tusks. I don't know if it's just like big game hunters trying to hunt down big game.
Yeah. I don't. It's probably one of those things with just like murder in general. It's not going to stop because there's going to be the few people in the world that are twisted and keep it going.
Mm. But then again, I'm thinking like because it's such a big risk, because it obviously is illegal. I imagine like once you take the money aspect out of it, because the horns and the tusks are the only thing of value. I imagine it has to drop a significant bit.
Yeah, I would hope at least. Definitely would
Yeah,
hope.
that's definitely the hope. Yeah, save those rhinos.
Yeah. Save all endangered species. Do your part.
Do everything you can.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, and then on also same note, you might have heard in the intro I said roadside safety worker week D'Onofrio as my little thing for this episode. It is roadside safety week. So watch out for your roadside workers, your DOT, your construction crews. Just awareness of that because a significant amount of those people do die every year from people not looking where they're going on highways and roads and whatnot. So
Was
raise awareness of that.
How do you know that?
How do I know it's
Yeah, how do you
what?
know it's the roadside safety week?
Oh, so in Connecticut on the highway change of like 91-515,
Mm-hmm.
there's those LED signs.
Oh, there's like a big sign there.
Yeah, I was chilling in a little bit of morning traffic today, and I happened to just be reading the sign, and it was advertising the roadside safety week. So I just thought it'd be nice to get that out there for people that might have not known.
Oh, well, that's nice. It's cute.
Yeah,
I like that.
I didn't know we had one, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And it's
They got days and weeks for everything at this point.
yeah, they do. And actually, speaking of weeks, it's Reggie's last weekend Nintendo, I believe, this week.
Oh, this week is?
Yeah. So for people that don't know, Reggie's president is former president of Nintendo America. I believe that it is his last week this week. So it probably by the time this episode goes out, it would probably be almost over. But
Hey,
yeah,
shout out Reggie, nonetheless.
shout out Reggie. He's done a lot of good stuff for Nintendo.
Bowser's finally taking over.
Jeez.
Literally and figuratively, I guess.
Watch Nintendo America go like completely off the deep end without him.
Yeah, it's just an absolute shit show now, and like they have the Bowser guy come in, and he's just doesn't do it.
Just doesn't do it at all. I hope that's not the case. I imagine he's a decent guy nonetheless.
Yeah.
I just like Resi, man, because every conference I've seen him at, he just seems like such a cool dude.
Yeah, it just seems very wholesome. I like it.
Yeah, like he seems like that dad that like tries to get in on video games to like kind of bond with the son, but he doesn't get them, but you still will play with him because he's really making that effort. That's what Reggie seems like to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I see him like that, or like like when in Little League, all the dads are friends during that time, and there's always like that one really cool dad.
Mm,
He'd be the really cool dad.
yeah. So sayonara, Reggie. It's been a good run, my friend.
Goodbye, Reginald. Take care.
Goodbye. You're still alive, but you're not working for Nintendo anymore.
Yeah. You're alive, just in a different vein, I guess. You're
Yeah.
just not
I
living
wonder,
anymore.
I wonder what's next for him. Is he I don't know. Do you know if he's completely retiring from like all work in general, or is he moving somewhere else?
He might be. I know he's. Oh, sorry. I know he's got money, so.
That's true. Well, we'll keep you updated if we hear anything about him going for any other companies or anything like that.
Indeed, we will. This is the Reggie
Indeed,
Fan
we
Club
will.
podcast, so.
I just like what he does.
I do
He
too.
seems like a cool dude.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
Yeah.
Do you want to take us home? I think we're.
Sure, I can do that. All right, everybody. That's been the Frying Pan Podcast, episode 23, I believe, right?
Yep.
We're on 23?
Yep.
All right, yep. So this episode's going up on Thursday, the 11th this time. I'm right this time, right? Yeah, the 11th. So that means you're probably listening to us on one of the audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, or Podbean, or YouTube. So thank you for doing that. Leave us a comment, some form of star rating, a like, whatever. Any form of constructive criticism in the comments, that'd be great. We appreciate that. We do this to get better. You can also send us over any form of business inquiries or criticism, or if you just want to talk, to our email in the excuse me, in the pan podcast at gmail.com. We'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. And then as far as social media goes, we obviously have our Twitter and Instagram. The handle for both of those is the Frying Pan Pod. As Dan said, he'll be posting the image that we were talking about earlier to our Instagram. And as far as regular posting goes in there, we're getting more and more regular. We're more sorting out what we're looking for in those areas. And once again, for the last time, that's been the Frying Pan Podcast for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. Hope to see you guys and have you guys listen to the next episode. Thanks you very much. I've been Robert D'Onofrio.
Yeah, Robert.
Huh?
Goodbye.